Hey everybody, I hope this video finds everybody doing well and in good spirits in spite of. I'm doing this video for a couple of reasons. Kim forgot to read an email the other day in a video that she had done that we find very telling, because it has to do with Jehovah's Witnesses not obeying the governing body. And I also want to address a comment in the comment section under a previous video that I had done. And I'm going to do a little show and tell at the same time. But I want to get to the email first, because when it comes to the Watchtower and Bible Tract Society, the governing idiots, we've all heard what they've read regarding the lockdown, if you will, and how they are, as an organization, showing that they're in compliance, or at least they're trying to be. And over the course of time, Kim and I have brought out the scripture when the government officials, if you will, tried to stop the early disciples from preaching. And what was it that Peter said? We must obey God as ruler rather than man. So when your governing body is trying to communicate different things about the way you should preach, the way you shouldn't preach, yada yada yada, Watchtower, not everybody's listening. And I have an email to prove it. And this is what Kim wanted to read the other morning, and she forgot to do so. So we give you our apologies. This is dated Sunday, December 27th, 2020. Good evening, Kimmy. Please do not use my name at all. Okay, that's understandable. But I took my wife to Kohl's to drop off an Amazon return this Sunday morning. She is waiting at the service counter, minding her business, when she notices the workers whispering and calling a manager over. It appears half of the local congregation was pretending to be shopping, with book bags and tablets in hand, and informal witnessing. Bad Jehovah's Witnesses. Those are my words. Because they're not listening to you, Watchtower. They're not listening. To the point that Kohl's was calling security and the local police to stop 15 sisters and 15 to 20 brothers from pestering the shoppers who were trying to get a deal on clearance items. My wife said it was horrible. Everybody was running from or trying to avoid eye contact. She said it was so blatantly obvious that she did not even have time to get her phone out to take pictures before they were trying to approach her. I am thinking this was Addison, Illinois congregation territory, but I'm not sure. It was in the Stratford Square Mall in Bloomingdale, Illinois. Feel free to use local area names. Or is this a new way to get time without disobeying? Yet another form of theocratic warfare? Guts to get the numbers back up. Well, here again, Watchtower, they're not being obedient to you. That's the thing. And there's a whole lot more going on than really meets the eye when it comes to current affairs. And what I see when Jehovah's Witnesses like this are directly disobeying the mandates of the governing body, then it makes you wonder how many other people in society are disobeying certain mandates. Now I want to get on to a comment underneath a previous video. And that video was entitled something like Jane Doe, Shall We End Their Misery, talking about Acts chapter 7. And I read a lot of the comments, you know, after just a couple hours or so that video was up. And thank you. Thank you so much for your comments. I actually saw a lot of different things in that comment section. I saw how some posters completely tried to circumvent the content, like they're trying to mislead, misdirect, misinform, things like that. But there was one comment that caught my attention, and the commenter said, "Who the hell is Jane Doe?" And I want to thank all of you that took the time to respond to that poster, because I recognize there's a lot of new ones waking up, just finding this channel and trying to figure out what their life has been involved with. And I know sometimes people want us to get right to the point, but a lot of times it takes time to, you know, build up a proper dialogue and everything else. So for those of you that shared your thoughts regarding Jane Doe's channel and this channel, how we are actually communicating back and forth with a whole lot of other people, there's a specific reason for that. But before I get into that, you're going to have to indulge me, because since I communicate very frequently with Jane Doe, I was telling her in one conversation I need to go because I'm in the process of making a knife, and I started to explain to her what I was actually doing. So I thought I would show her. So if you just hold on for a minute, I'm going to show her what I did in this process. So Jane Doe, here's the piece of metal that I was talking about. You can see how thick this piece of metal is and relatively how short it is, because I pretty much forged the knife from this point forward. So I drew it all out flat. Now this piece of metal is what you would ideally call tool steel, and this comes from a earth scraper. If you've ever been or gone through a construction site and you've seen those big earth scrapers where they drive along and they scrape all the earth up into a huge holding container, then they take it off and dump it. Well, that piece of metal that runs along the ground that actually does the scraping, that's what this is. So it's a very tough steel. So what I did is I put it in my coal-fired forge, and I ended up with this particular knife in the end. And as you can see, that all got drawn down, hammered down from this to this. And that's what the product ended up as. Hardened and then tempered, and curly maple handle with poured silver for the pins and the guard. So that's what it is right there. And just another quick thing, Jane Doe, I was talking about the tomahawk that I forged from a ball peen hammer. This is the tomahawk. This is the one that I actually took and had bronze casting made to the head. So that's was forged from a ball peen hammer. Okay, now who the hell is Jane Doe? When Kim and I first woke up, we started our YouTube channel and we were sharing some of our experiences from Wisconsin. And we related a very specific story. And she recognized it, just simply because of mutual acquaintances, and what we did not know at that time but discovered later, that there was a huge wedding with multiple congregations invited, and we all happened to be at that same wedding, even though we did not know each other at that time. So because we related another story that she knew through family members, she contacted us, and we've been in contact ever since. One thing that I really appreciate about Jane Doe is that when I did one of my first videos regarding the information in the reasoning book about the cross and the ellipsis, the dot that Watchtower so famously uses to misdirect what the author is saying or to fabricate a lie, That information came from the Imperial Bible Dictionary. And at the time I did that video, all I had was the information that could be found at openlibrary.com, and it had all of the scans from that specific page. And I did a video showing exactly what the Watchtower Bible Tract Society did by using the ellipsis. We usually refer to it as cherry picking, but whenever anybody uses an ellipsis, it's my strong recommendation that you get the hard copy and fill in exactly what is specifically Watchtower is leaving out of that quote. Well, Jane Doe happened to be on eBay, there we go, and she saw an Imperial Bible Dictionary that had that information. So she actually purchased that and sent that to us so that we could have the hard copy. And I've been grateful to her ever since for that. One of the reasons why I like promoting her channel, because she went and took a college class on the Bible, and she's discussed this on her channel. And at that time she was asking me questions about specific scriptures in the Bible and what I thought about them. And I was like, wait a minute, I see, yeah, there's a specific reason why they're saving all the virgins and killing all the young boys and killing all the women that have known the ways of a man. Those are things that not only Jehovah's Witnesses don't want to hear or see, there are also ex-Jehovah's Witnesses that don't want to hear or see that either. Because Kim and I have already had been doing a tremendous amount of research at that time, reading those scriptures did not surprise me or shock me at all. And the more Jane Doe and Kim and I talked, the more we really began to see what's going on in this book. And we were able to take a lot of Watchtower articles. She's doing the same thing right now regarding the Septuagint, and how in a roundabout way Watchtower even admits these are copies of copies that have been tainted. But you have to really pay attention to the wording that Watchtower is using to be able to recognize that. So anyhow, what happened with Jane Doe that caused her to really go more forward with her channel, because she actually had this channel for some time. She'd only done maybe a handful of videos, but she just wasn't getting any views, and she more or less elected to present her views, her research regarding the Bible under some of the other channels in the ex-Jehovah Witness community. And this isn't any big secret that she actually did a video thanking publicly Gus at Outreach Healing Ministry and Dawn with the Witness for Jesus channel. Because these two people in particular, although they encourage, do your research. Jehovah's Witnesses, look at your history. When Jane Doe would comment or post her findings, her research, these two people in particular would systematically delete her comments. Systematically. I witnessed it myself. Dawn even did it with Kim, to the point to where she said, oh, this has got to stop because my cancer is coming back and I just can't handle this. But do you friends see that the very things that we encourage Jehovah's Witnesses to do, there are those in this community that shut down critical thinking, that shut down any type of dialogue that contradicts their theology. How is this any different than what we see going on in the world around us right now? How is it any different? It's actually an exercise in hypocrisy. It really is. So this is why Jane Doe has worked to make her channel grow. Because the research that we all need to escape the confinement that a book such as this causes, we need to expose. Because what your religious leaders tell you that this book contains is nothing but a fabricated lie. Okay? Simple as that. Now, I'm going to qualify something here because I know that a lot of Christians love the idea of having a Savior, Jesus. And some will even preach, like Jason Zelda, get yourself a real Bible and find the real Jesus. What, Jason, are you telling me I didn't find Jesus because I found him in New World Translation? Oh no, Mikey, that's not what I mean. Then just what do you mean? See, it's not about finding the identity of Jesus. It's about getting you into a book. A book. And Watchtower became an absolute master at that. Now, do I believe Jesus Christ existed? Well, there's multiple other religions throughout man's history that have the same identifying marks, only under a different name. Dionysus, Osiris, and the list goes on and on and on and on. So that's why I like to say, look in a mirror and see who you really are. Search your soul. Reflect who you are. Do I believe that a man walked Palestine 2,000 years ago, pointing his fingers at his religious leaders saying, you are from your father the devil and you wish to do his works? That man pointed the finger and was pointing out the hypocrisy, wasn't he, guys? Your own holy book says that. Do I believe that a man walked Palestine that was gleaning some food, walking through a field with his disciples, and being accused of working on the Sabbath? And do I believe he properly answered that challenge? Yes. Because those religious nut jobs back then were convicting people to the letter of the Constitution, the letter of the law, and missing the spirit of freedom. Freedom. Do I believe that that happened? I most certainly do, because I believe that a man like Gandhi walked this earth and pretty much preached the same thing. Freedom. Don't miss the spirit of the law and convict us to the absolutism of the letter. Because when I look at what a lot of us ex-members are doing today, are we not pointing the fingers at our, or what was our religious leaders, such as the governing body of the Jehovah Witnesses, and saying, you men are evil, you're from your father the devil, you do his works, because you're allowing child abuse, you practice legalized human sacrificing, you fabricate lies with the ellipsis and the ... dots. So yes, it's very easy for me to comprehend and believe that a man walked this earth 2,000 years ago, pointing the finger at his religious enslavers. We're doing the same thing today. The only difference that we have is we have YouTube. If YouTube is preserved and all these videos are preserved, nobody can rightfully say, well, you know, Mikey's words were challenged. You know, we don't know whether Mikey really said this, or anybody else for that fact, Jane Doe for that fact. But these words, even Watchtower will tell you they've been tampered with, because they were tampered with to suit an ideology, to suit an agenda. And it doesn't have anything to do with freedom. It has to do completely with enslavement. So for those of you that want to know who the hell Jane Doe is, I would strongly suggest going to her channel and subscribing, because right now she is systematically going through a lot of bullshit Watchtower articles. And if you pay attention to what Watchtower has written in those articles, you can see exactly who and what the Jehovah's Witnesses are. They're not a Christian group of free people. They are enslaved. Because when you have an email that shows the opposition to Watchtower, when they say, hunker down, don't get out and preach, only go and preach to those that, you know, that you already know. Maybe a return visit. If they're in shopping malls, they're not doing return visits, Watchtower. They are blatantly disobeying you. Blatantly disobeying you. So anyhow, guys, thanks for watching. And once again, please go over and watch her videos. Look at what she's exposing. And once again, thank you to those in the comment section that, you know, help show this person just who Jane Doe is. And yeah, we have a lot coming. We're still continuing to study and researching. I still have a wealth of information regarding Solomon that I want to continue doing. But there's just a lot going on right now, because Watchtower is crumbling right before our very eyes. And like I said years ago, hey Mom, Watchtower is going to become an online religion. They have no choice at this point. They have no choice. Was this a prediction? No, it was just a very carefully perceived observation, because we chose, Kim and I chose to look at Watchtower as a business, as a book publishing company. And Jane Doe has done the same thing. And a lot of other you friends, like Ugly Watchtower, you friends are getting it. You're seeing exactly what Kim and I have been trying to say for multiple years now. And the more that we keep this dialogue in front of us, the more we're going to see Watchtower being forced to comply. So thanks for watching, and you friends have a wonderful day. And don't forget to take some time this evening, or maybe tomorrow evening, to get out away from your city lights and appreciate the depth of our universe. And that's what this is. This is our universe. Thanks.